We are here at the start of the North American Ranked Royale. If you haven't been keeping up with the tournament, real quick, how the top 3 players qualified. Firstkiller, Daniel, and Jack made it in to the main event by finishing top 3 in North American Ranked. Wisty finished top 4, actually, but had to play through the qualifier against 4 through 11, and he came out on top. So Wisty here joining the rest of the 3. The tournament is going to involve these guys playing all of each other in a pool like you would do in Ranked, and whoever gets the most wins comes out on top and gets the prize. We are starting today with Wisty versus Firstkiller. All the games are going to be here on this channel. Let's get going. Chat, here we go. It's the start of the North American Ranked Royale. Yes, it is best of 5 between Firstkiller and Wisty. Wisty taking down Chronic and OSM in the process of qualifying into this pool play alongside the 3 top North American 1v1ers. Daniel, Jack, Firstkiller. Can Wisty do it in a tournament? If you guys don't know Wisty, because there's going to be a few people who are watching Wisty for the first time. Let me hold down tab here for a second so you can fully soak in the 132 ping that he is going to be playing against Firstkiller with. He is a South American 1v1er from Brazil, just like KV1. You guys might remember when KV1 used to grind and take down a lot of the top North Americans all the way from Brazil. Now, Wisty is trying to take over that throne of being able to do the actually impossible for everyone who isn't from Brazil, it seems. Now, even when KV1 was at the height of his game and he was playing some of the best Rocket League he's ever played in 1v1, even he had trouble against the North American greats. He wasn't able to take down Lion Blaze. I don't think he was able to take down Daniel. Times that he faced the best of the best in North America still didn't go his way. So Wisty taking down somebody like Firstkiller would be truly unprecedented on this kind of ping. KV1 got the closest before. Wisty could be that guy now. Firstkiller going to go air dribble bump right into the top shelf. I think we saw Wisty evade an air dribble bump with the in and out against Chronic yesterday, but it's not going to happen today. And that's likely has to do with just how well Firstkiller was protecting the ball. I mean, he was directly in front of it. He's going right back to his air dribble bump. The number of times we see an air dribble bump being the first goal scored by somebody is pretty often. It's not a bad way to get the offense started for yourself. Thank you, Adam Hippo, by the way, for the prime. Only Ray, as you see on screen, gifted a nice 20 subs right before the match started. Firstkiller getting a second goal. One of the reasons why KV1 was able to do so much when he played in North America was because he was still able to not just contend in kickoffs, but actually dominate them, even with the ping disadvantage. I think there's something about the set piece. That's a great last touch by Firstkiller to tie the game. 3-3 at 3:33. It's a beautiful sight. But Wisty in and out of the net again, and Firstkiller delays that final touch just perfectly. But what I was going to say is I think kickoffs are a bit of a set piece, regardless of ping, where you know where your opponent's going to be, where the ball's going to be, exactly what you have to do in order to win it. There's no predicting to be done. I think that's must be the reason why KV1 was able to have so much success. Wisty off to an early lead. Can he stay in this game as time goes on? Because there's no question that Firstkiller feels like the favorite who might be able to pull away. Wisty isn't careful, but as I say that, Firstkiller makes a mistake touch on the back wall. He was trying to softly catch the ball. Instead, doesn't get to it at all. It'll be a Wisty lead. This is going to be a direct kickoff goal for Firstkiller, so right back to square. Firstkiller slightly delaying that diagonal kickoff. Going for the delay wave dash. As he gets there so late, Wisty's able to force it into his corner. And did he steal both of his corner boosts? I think he did. Firstkiller working on just pads. Wisty not expecting that touch as he was trying to chase down Firstkiller. I think he was maybe thinking Firstkiller was going to try and make a possession play, but instead popped it over him and left him in a bit of an awkward situation trying to go back to net and handle that. Nice save by Wisty. Is Firstkiller going to try and score this? We saw Zen finding a way to score from the inside of his net earlier today. Wisty probably needs another demo to finish this one off. He did not connect on the second attempt. He's got himself a possession at midfield. He was hoping for the midfield boost spawn. Didn't show up for him, so he has to fall all the way back to the back corner. Rolling one on target. Firstkiller, look at this camera check. Watching Wisty on the opposite side of the ball. Wisty going to take his opportunity to let the ball bounce midfield. Firstkiller has the save on the power shot. Wisty grabs the midfield and back corner boost. So Firstkiller on very little. He's going to be able to take this corner from him as well. So Firstkiller is forced to back off. Wisty expecting a quick challenge. Flicks right away, and it works out. Firstkiller, whether he was planning on challenging early or not, he definitely moved in close to start. And then found himself in no man's land in terms of how to challenge this ball. It was directly over the top of his head. Wisty launches one to the crossbar off the kickoff. Firstkiller misses just barely wide off of both posts. Wait, he's fine. He follows it right back up. Wisty double jumping to his demise. If he had been able to hold on to that second flip, might have been able to recover. Firstkiller, multiple resets. Wisty has noticed where Firstkiller is going. He made sure to make the adjustment in the nets to leave absolutely no room above him, because Firstkiller has been able to slot basically crossbar down these past few times. Does mean Wisty likely going to overreact if Firstkiller ever does fake one of these dribbles. But is there enough time for Firstkiller to capitalize on those adjustments Wisty's made? 30 boost to work with. Wisty trying to just dodge the demo. It doesn't matter. Firstkiller locks in and takes him out. Now has himself a ton of space. Goes to the air. Wisty pre-jumps it. Firstkiller's camera actually turned away for a moment as he looked to set that up and probably couldn't see Wisty getting up in the air. Still possession for Firstkiller. All the way from the back corner. A great first touch. You don't want to get the ball in the ceiling, and he does it. He falls all the way to the ground. Almost actually scored off of it, but now Wisty has a counterattack. Should just be able to 1-2. He missed wide. And Firstkiller absolutely should be counting his lucky stars that Wisty was not able to capitalize. He should have had that goal. Wisty's going to feel really disappointed if he doesn't get this game. He couldn't keep it up. So it'll be overtime in game number 1. Important kickoff here. Wisty actually wins the race to the midfield boost despite Firstkiller going wave dash. And now has a great possession. Drops it to the ground. Maybe a bit of nerves here in the final moments. Firstkiller, did he just get a freebie on the counterattack? He did. Wisty had the game in his hands. It was up to him to try and score on a shadowed Firstkiller, and I don't think he's going to be very happy with what he got out of that possession. Dropping the ball down and end up putting in a fairly simple shot for Firstkiller to save and counter. Game number 1 going to go to Firstkiller. Game 2. Oftentimes when a player is looking to make a mark, what happened here on Firstkiller's kickoff, I am not sure. But oftentimes when somebody's trying to make a bit of an upset, which I think it would be, if Wisty were able to take Firstkiller down, you can't afford to lose the close games. Everything has to fall your way. Although Wisty has been playing well, he just needs to stay calm despite the disappointment I'm sure he has, but not being able to close out that one. Firstkiller. The reset. Doesn't take the shot this time. Lets it fall to the ground. We talked earlier about how that was likely to work. The way Wisty had been, not overreacting, but correctly reacting to all of Firstkiller's aerial plays earlier in game 1. And he's got himself a similar situation. Much better flick this time around. what he got in overtime in the previous game. Wisty off the ceiling, starting to feel a little bit of confidence, but he slams the ball directly down into Firstkiller. I don't think Firstkiller's going to be able to get a quick shot. He'll just grab the back corner boost. Make sure Wisty stays starved out. Watching Wisty. The ball comes back down to the ground. What does he have to deal with defensively? He decides to try and put it behind Wisty on the right side of the net. Wisty has that save. Now bounce dribble into a bump. Great thought by Wisty to finish off this play. Hard to get anything into the net past the defender on this tight of an angle. One of the ways to do that is to make it so that there isn't any defender. Firstkiller going to hand the ball to Wisty. I felt like there was nothing else to do from that position. Wisty giving Firstkiller a really great setup as this ball bounced off the worst part of the back corner for him. Wisty trying to decide if he could turn in. You can see him for a moment there thinking if he could cut in, and here is trying to swing wide such that he could attack the ball as he made his save, but Firstkiller puts it behind him even still. Wisty sending the ball to the back wall, and he was up to demo Firstkiller if Firstkiller went to start his air dribble, but Firstkiller waited on the ground in order to avoid him. Actually, really smart play. Now he's got himself 100 boost and possession. Wisty trying to slow down the play. Not going to be able to do so. Firstkiller has looked pure in the air. This time he lets the ball bounce and slams it in on the follow-up. Wisty was trying to react on the goal line to the shots, although he might have gotten credited with a save in that sequence. Firstkiller's there to stuff it in. Firstkiller bumping Wisty off the ball on this kickoff into another wall to air dribble. He's been trying to corral around the ball, put it back right behind Wisty on multiple different aerial attempts so far. Wisty has Firstkiller right behind him. This is why he's looking to play quickly out of the midfield. When somebody is being aggressive, looking for a demo attempt like that, you can often capitalize on them missing by playing as quick as possible. Even though Wisty doesn't immediately score, he does start a possession that leads to a goal. I mean, he's just flopping on top of the ball, and Firstkiller comes to try and take it away from him. But unfortunately for him, flopping around with all four wheels on the ball is actually a pretty favorable position to win a challenge from. Wisty back to Reliable, but didn't fully commit to it, I feel like. He pulled out of the air dribble bump because he felt like he wasn't going to be able to connect with Firstkiller. Had he fully committed to it, maybe be tied up right now. Firstkiller finds the perfect shot off the bounce. Bit of an awkward position to shoot from, close to the wall. Firstkiller gets around the ball perfectly, and Wisty was not expecting the immediate first touch shot. Firstkiller able to win a 50, set up another dribble from the right side. This is where he's been setting up most of his aerial plays so far. No, he's not able to score on this one. Holds on to possession. He's definitely been dictating this game. Wisty had a crazy save attempt. If this worked, I was going to be impressed. Firstkiller playing it into midfield makes it hard. Also playing it fairly low. The ceiling challenges, of course, do best when the ball is either near the wall or near the ceiling, so you don't have a lot of distance to travel to catch back up. Firstkiller set that up with neither. Wisty, though, keeping himself within striking distance with a minute left to go by getting a direct kickoff goal. Could afford to get another. Slams Firstkiller back into his net. Wanting to go and grab midfield boost to try and see if he can starve Firstkiller out, but ultimately accepting the fact that he was not going to be able to get away with that. So now it's Firstkiller on offense again. Wisty has recognized where he needs to be, is right underneath the crossbar in order to save these shots from Firstkiller. Needs to score on this take, most likely. Plays it around Firstkiller. So still has a chance. First is just playing a bit of keep away. Instead of starting his attack in the direction of Wisty, he just cuts it across the field to burn even just a little bit more time. Wisty to the skies. First touch is something that is not going to be easy to work with. And he's never able to bring it back on target. So that is likely the end of the game. A couple of those sequences needed to go Wisty's way. And now with 10 seconds and Firstkiller in control of the ball, Wisty forced to back off. Almost certainly spells a Game 2 win for Firstkiller. Wisty has been playing well, but hasn't been able to get the edge yet. Every game matters in this ranked Royale. Game differential could end up being the reason why you win. And Firstkiller up 2-0. Game 3. People in chat want a reverse sweep. It wouldn't be impossible. We have seen a few different reverse sweeps so far in the ranked Royale. A lot of the qualifying games were very close, but actually the main event games have been heavily in one player's favor, and it's been in the players who made it into the top of the ranked leaderboard. Just goes to show you that at least in 1v1, the ranked leaderboard does mean something, or maybe it means something while this event is going on. Not always do the players grind ones like I think they did for Ranked Royale. But I've been looking at a lot of the videos. I know Jack got a ton of videos. Seems like Chronic got some videos. Hopefully some more players maybe that I've not as closely connected to, that I didn't get to see, got some videos out of the event as well. It's definitely great to see people being able to benefit. I think everybody just had a lot of fun. I think at the end of the day, it seems like the players almost wanted to have an extra incentive to get to grind against each other. Something to break up the monotony of many, many ranked climbs in the past. That was a nice pinch to follow up for the second goal. Firstkiller up into the air for a dribble. Wisty has a great save. Can't quite get the power on the counterattack because he has to go up too high to meet it. If the ball was bouncing just a bit lower, he could have used some of that boost to put power into the ball instead of just trying to get up to reach it. Firstkiller save and a long shot. 3-1 in a game where it felt like we were going to need to see a hot start from Wisty. We see Firstkiller taking the lead once again. Wisty not done after this match today. Even if he's not able to grab a game off Firstkiller, needs to use it as a warm-up for his match following against Daniel. That is the reward that both of the qualifying players have gotten for making it in to this event. A couple quick games against the best the region has to offer. Wisty, favorable 50. Found himself a little bit underneath the ball. One way to make up for that is to get a demo. Did he touch this too hard? Firstkiller actually can respawn and get the save. Wow. Just to show how every touch needs to be perfect when you're playing against Firstkiller. That was certainly scoreable if he made all the right moves to the midfield, but even just a slight overtouch. And now he's still staring at a 1 on the scoreboard. Full field dribble. I like this from Wisty. Looking to get creative, looking to bring in something that he obviously didn't feel comfortable with at the start of the series, because he needs something different. 5-1 for Firstkiller. On track to a 3-0 sweep. This will be Firstkiller's last game of the day. He's got both Daniel and Jack tomorrow. Firstkiller. His air dribbles have actually started to not work nearly as well. Wisty has gotten a decent read on them. Everything else in the game continues to favor him. Firstkiller launching a shot from the midfield. Soft touch from Wisty. Don't know why he was trying to rush as quickly as he was, using up all his boost. Maybe to try and get underneath the ball, but didn't quite do so. Wisty out of the sidewall for this save. Connects with the ball. Has to momentarily wait to let Firstkiller pass instead of getting demoed. Could definitely see Wisty being more willing and a bit more comfortable as time goes on in the air, but still getting that reset too late. Not going to be good enough to get past the Firstkiller, who is not on his first rodeo, not even in his first tens of rodeos here in a show match. Wisty has played a good amount as well, but certainly not as tenured as a guy like Firstkiller in tournaments like this. When's the last time Firstkiller has lost a North American? I guess he lost the 5K. And like that's one of the only times Firstkiller has lost a North American tournament that I even know of. Since he's been playing, he has won everything that he finished playing, because he also stopped playing in the gold mine. He lost to Yan, but was that part of a tournament? I'm specifically talking about tournaments. When it comes to North American 1v1 tournaments, Firstkiller is him. The only exception being the Fall 5K on this channel. And that is the sole tournament win for Jack, as far as I'm aware. Salt 9-1, Firstkiller won that. He won the tournament. I'm not saying did he lose that ever, because you guys might be talking about when he lost to Lethamyr. He's lost to a lot of people, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about whether or not he wins the North American tournaments. Wisty needs 5 goals in 40 seconds. Don't think it's going to happen here. Firstkiller starting off exactly how he needs to at the beginning of the ranked Royale. Wisty needs to be able to shake it off, and I think he will. If anything, he can use this as a warm-up, shake off the nerves, a little bit less pressure going into his match against Daniel. It's still not impossible for him to win, but of course now he needs somebody to beat Firstkiller for him if he were to play well against Daniel and Jack to come back and win the event. But a game differential of a 3-0 will certainly be a tough one to deal with. Firstkiller continues to be him when it comes to North American tournaments. Wisty throws the GGs. 3-0 for Firstkiller in round 1 of the North American Ranked Royale.